Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on yet another wonderful, fantastic, Frenzy Friday edition of your number one sports program on Live TV, Sports Bleep Live. We're here to keep you informed and entertained with all the latest breaking news, stories, and information from across the world of sports. My name is Mary J, and you know how we do it on the program. We are not alone. We don't like to do the program alone. We like you to be involved. From wherever you are in the world, you too can be a part of the program tonight. Just send us your thoughts and your comments via our social media platform. The WhatsApp line will be opened as the show progresses, so that you can send us text messages only on WhatsApp, and then also you can put a phone call through to us via the same number, and we'll get your thoughts on the program. Now, I have in the studio tonight my team of extraordinary gentlemen, somebody returning from, he's been a bit on and off these days. He's none other than our two-time NBBF champion in the house, talking about the poster boy of Sports Bleep, Susu Bob Manuel. Welcome, Susu.
Thank you, Merit. As usual, thank you for that rousing introduction. It's good to be here to talk sports once again. And being a basketball fan, I actually thought this off-season there won't be much, but it looks like this particular off-season, the trades and everything is going to keep us glued to our seats. Don't go anywhere. We have everything for you.
Like you've heard from the man himself, basketball fan in the house, big time basketball fan in the house. You might be wondering why he wasn't here on Wednesday. There was a certain MBBA award ceremony, so I'm sure he has those covered on that end, and also all those talking points from the basketball scene. Now, in the house with us tonight is our very own in-house reporter. He spans the length and the breadth of this nation to give us first-hand information on football and other sports in the country. I believe he has some good news for us this evening.
Yeah, I've got some good news. I'm so excited. Rivers United, we had a serious hurdle to cross. Lobby Stars of Makurdi. It was a match that had a venue that everybody rebuted to, everybody complained, everybody murmured.
I didn't know they were going to go ahead with that thing because it seemed like it favored Lobby Stars.
It favored Lobby Stars because it's Lobby Stars' home ground, away from home. It's their regular preseason venue.
Here's the thing. They want to make me a believer again. Rivers United have broken my heart so many times.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll
still
support
here.
them, but they want to make me a believer. Look, I actually felt when they beat Aqua United and they were going to face Lobby
3 goals
Stars.
to nil. Clean sheet.
3 goals, nothing. I just said Lobby Stars. These guys they were champions before. This is where the box
and they played in the Super 6 playoff in Lagos.
They were more prepared and everything. Long and short, kudos to them. They are doing
kudos to them, and they've not considered a goal throughout the FA Cup, the A2 Cup.
Let them not still keep.
So I'm excited. Thanks for having me at the studio.
Well, you've heard it from the man himself, Prince Wall, who is looking very official tonight, and we know why. Because Rivers United are into the semi-finals of the ITO Cup 2019. These and a whole lot more just for you on the program tonight. Of course, the AFCON 2019 is really hitting up. A lot of games, a lot of interesting results. Yesterday, we saw two of the biggest teams, talking about Algeria and Senegal, square off, and it ended 1-0 in favor of Algeria. Tonight also we saw Morocco defeat Cote d'Ivoire by 1-0. A lot of big games, a lot of surprises, a lot of goals being scored in the AFCON 2019. We'll keep you updated on that front. And also the FIFA Women's World Cup. It has reached England. The Lionesses of England are into the semi-finals. The first team to qualify for the semi-finals after making easy work of Norway last night, 3-0. And tonight the big one, the host France take on the defending champions USA. We'll keep you informed as that one progresses. And also the Copa America also reaches semi-final stage. Brazil, the first team to advance to the semi-finals, but it wasn't easy for them. They had to struggle through the match against Paraguay, and they finally prevailed on penalties. Sports Bleep Live has you all covered. We begin tonight with basketball stories and talking about the MBBF. First of all, I would like to inform you that SBMF, which is the Soso Bob Manuel Foundation, weekly sessions continues this Saturday at the Police Officers Mess Sports Complex, OGRA, here in Port Harcourt. The time is 7 a.m. prompt. If you are interested in basketball, if you know how to play basketball, you love basketball, or you know someone who would like to get involved in basketball, not just basketball, mentoring as well for youths and teenagers, just make your way to the Police Officers Mess Sports Complex at the OGRA here in Port Harcourt by 7 a.m. SBMF and our very own Soso Bob Manuel has you covered. And also on the local scene, talking about basketball, the leagues here in Nigeria, talking about the men's league and the women's league here in Nigeria, are set to kick off on the 1st and the 8th of July 2019. The Women's League to kick off on the 1st of July 2019, and the Males League will kick off on the 8th of July 2019. We'll keep you posted as to the developments concerning the MBBF. Now, straight into the NBA. But before going to the NBA, the coach of the Tigers, that's the Nigerian national basketball team, has released a 44-man preliminary squad for the FIBA World Cup 2019. We'll let our basketball genius in the house shed more light on the matter.
First things first, kudos to Nigeria on being the first team to qualify to this particular World Cup. And Alex Nwora, the coach, is making sure that he doesn't leave any stone unturned. You know, he invited, this is I'll say this is one of the best open camps I've seen. He invited not just the stars, of course, we know the likes of Al Farouk Aminu, who just played against the Warriors in NBA semifinals. He invited Ike Diogo, who's also the captain. He invited his son, who is our highest scorer in this, leading up to this particular one. He also invited a kid whom I'm impressed about, Precious Achua. I watched that boy growing up. At a point in time, he was one of the people used to mentor. He was a kid. The guy is a beast right now on the court, and people like him give me hope. Not just that, he also invited home-based players. Now, here's the thing. The 44 of them are going to camp in Buffalo in the US over there. You get where I'm coming from. Some of these guys just need the exposure, especially the home-based players. He has 2 players from Royal Rivers Hoopers. Player from Rivers Hoopers who was a former MVP, Buchi Nwanwu, and a couple of others. This shows me that this is a man that has an idea of where he wants to take the team to. And I believe this particular team will go further than any other Nigerian team has ever gone in this particular competition.
Camping for the Tigers in preparation for the FIBA World Cup 2019 begins on the 7th of July 2019. All the best for them. Out of this 44-man squad, it's sad that's just 12 men that has to make it to the World Cup.
It has to be 12. I think there are rules to that. I think there used to be a time when you could register 14 or 15 players in case of an injury, in case of this, but now they just said 12 is 12. So no matter how the coach does it, he has to trim it down to 12. I think the main thing, the reason why a lot of people, because when I first heard 44-man team, I was wondering, why on earth would you invite 44 people? Yeah. Now, he wants to make sure, this is a man that's, first, when he was coming in, a lot of people were saying, why will you bring a coach? He's a college coach and all that. Not even of course, but he's done very well. Leading up to this, we didn't lose any game. We lost our first game and only game after Nigeria had qualified. You get, so he's a man that has an idea of where he wants to go. He has a plan, and we should stick with him going forward.
Any chances of our the players from our local sites making it to the FIBA World Cup 2019?
Those guys have to they have to have Kobe Bryant mentality, Steph Curry shooting, LeBron James physique right now in less than, because it's give or take 1 week to 10 days for this particular competition, for this training camp to learn. But there's also another thing you should know. Our level of basketball can't be compared to what's outside the country. As much as I love the fact I invited 5 players, most of them are just there to at least understand what it's like to train in those conditions, to get to see basketball the way it's supposed to be played. Look, we have a system where in this whole Nigeria, we haven't played one professional basketball game January up till now. Where are they going to get the players to represent this in Nigeria coming up? These are things that should have been gone. A lot of players look to this for their sustenance. How can you do this? How do we become better? We can't even compete with the likes of Angola at the end of the day. We beat them, yes, but at the end of the day, you can't. If you go to Angola and play basketball, you'll be paid in dollars. That's them just.
I was going to come to that. Sometimes you necessarily don't need to go to the World Cup. But what being invited to that national camp does to you as a player is it gives you this morale boost. It gives you hope. It motivates you, and it motivates others at your particular cadre. So they say, okay, if so could be invited, I believe I could be invited someday, and I could skate through and go for the World Cup. So it motivates, actually.
All right, good one from the coach Alex Nwora. We wish the Tigers all the best leading to the FIBA World Cup 2019. Still in basketball, the NBA, since it's getting hot, like Soso Bomari rightly told you, the trade rumors are not dying down anytime soon. And we're not talking about we are not talking about fringe players. We're talking about major players, players that you have to sign with your max salary cap. Now we're talking about Kyrie Irving and also Kawhi Leonard. Still, both of them targets for LA Lakers. When LeBron James moved to LA Lakers, we knew that something big was coming.
When LeBron moved, he moved for two reasons. First, he went to start the business side of his life. You know, like I said, LeBron is one of the smartest players out there. He makes money on the court, he makes money off the court. Sometimes you compare it, I think he makes more money off the court. He has a studio. Of course, we can't go into the Nike brand. His shoes are one of the highest selling shoes. His jerseys, part of it. But here's the thing. They thought he was going to be mentored by Magic Johnson, who just resigned without telling anybody, just right after they didn't make the playoffs and all that. So LeBron, I think they knew without a doubt that this guy has signed 4 years. He has 3 more years. And now with players have been able to opt out of their remaining contract, that simply means if you know you're good enough, you can tell your team that, look, you can sign a contract that states, if it's not going the way I want it to go for me, which is a bit selfish, but at the end of the day, everyone has to look out for himself. You can stand up and say, I'm going to opt out of this particular amount you're supposed to pay me, making me a free agent. That means I'm allowing people out there to match what you think you can pay me. So they know LeBron James always has that clause in his contract. And they knew that they couldn't surround him with the same kind of players they did. They made the first major move. They signed AD. Now, a lot of people might say they gave up a lot to sign AD, but here's the thing. They don't have LeBron James for that long. They have him for only about 3 more seasons. If everything goes well, 3 more seasons. AD is in his prime. Barring all injuries, AD is a top 3 big man in the league. Now, they only need one person. Remember, he did it with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade arguably was just leaving his prime when LeBron James went there. Chris Bosh, AD is a more refined version of Chris Bosh. So if he could do it with those kind of players, what do you think will happen if he has someone like AD and has a Kyrie Irving, who we also saw? Kyrie Irving is a spectacular superstar player on his own. And bear in mind, they are not the only ones they are targeting. They are targeting Kyrie Irving. If that doesn't fall through, D'Angelo Russell, who was also a Laker player before he was traded for Lonzo Ball. And they also have Kemba Walker in mind. So I have a feeling that right now, the Larry O'Brien trophy might be heading towards Los Angeles. Might be heading. That's the way it's looking.
Now, what's the situation with Kawhi Leonard?
Okay. Kawhi is the hottest property on the market right now. First things first, Kawhi proved himself. The playoffs, we all saw what he did. First player in a long time to lead his team in points, rebounds, I think steals, and maybe blocks or thereabouts. About 4 categories or thereabouts. It hasn't happened in a very long time. Last time it happened was Larry Bird. I did it. Kawhi can literally do anything he wants in the NBA right now. And he's always been a home person. So he said, look, he wanted to go to LA. That's why when he had the issue with Greg Popovich at Sports, he said, I want to go to Los Angeles because that's where I'm from. I'm a native of LA. My family, everything is there. He's big on family. They said he became very close to his uncle right after his dad died. So his uncle was the person that, in fact, his uncle is like his agent and manager and everything you get. So he said, I want to go to LA. Greg Popovich said, I am not sending you to come and hunt me. So I'm sending you to Siberia, far away from here. And he thought he was doing something. He went with the first good deal that came his way. He sent him over there. Kawhi went and turned to the king of the north, literally. He is the king of the north. And right now he's the king of the NBA. So him opting out of his $21.5 million contract this season is a no-brainer. Kawhi deserves the max contract anywhere he goes, and he knows they'll give it to him. So he's going to talk to the Lakers and the Clippers first, because he's an LA native. It doesn't matter where he lands, as long as somewhere in LA. He's in Los Angeles. If he goes to the Lakers, let's just sign off the season of the NBA. But I don't think he's that kind of person. I think he's a major competitor. So he'll want to go where he can at least have some issues. And if he goes to, I say issues, have some leverage. If he goes to Clippers, he'll be the alpha dog. And they'll want 1 or 2 other players who want to come and play with him. That's how it works. All
right, now, LeBron James. Lakers signed Anthony Davis, and it's something we don't see often in football or in sports generally. Real Madrid signed Eden Hazard, and he was asking for the number 10 shirt, and Luka Modric said, no, look for another number. But LeBron James generously giving out his Not just any number now, he's
I think-
iconic 23.
I think LeBron.
It doesn't happen in football.
No, it doesn't happen. But LeBron knows without a doubt, is Anthony Davis is big, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where Anthony Davis is 7.5 or 8, LeBron is 9.5. Any way you look at it, on the field of play, controlling a team, off the court, everything, LeBron is a bigger star. So what he's trying to do is, young man, ease into the game. I'm not going to take anything away from you. You were 23, good and fine. Come and take the number. As for when I went to Miami, I wore number 6 and I performed very well. I played, in fact, perhaps the best basketball of my career. So I think he's trying to tell people, I'm going back to my number 6. Let me see if we can give this thing a run. And he just wants Anthony Davis he wants to welcome him the best way possible. You get where I'm coming from? Every player needs that, because coming from the Pelicans, he had reached a point with them where it was a case of we can't work. If not, him getting Zion on his team, Zion Williamson on his team, is enough to change anyone's mind. That's the most hyped, I think the most hyped player after LeBron James. But he still said, I want to go. So that tells you something.
That's a nice one of both of them. Just that I can't see the same for Neymar and Cavani.
Not going to happen.
All right, away from all of that now, we'll start talking about some football stories. We'll begin from the local scene. Prince is really excited. You can see the excitement on his face. Rivers United edged out Lobby Stars 5-3 on penalties after the game ended goalless in regulation time to advance to the ITO Cup semi-finals for the 2019 edition of the ITO Cup, our own version of the FA Cup. Now, there was a lot of controversy concerning the match venue before the match itself, but the NFF and the LMC, in their own discretion, allowed the game to go on at the Ijebu-Ode Stadium, which for Rivers United supporters, they claim and they really believe it's a home away from home for Lobby Stars. But that notwithstanding, Rivers United got the job. Kudos to Rivers United, Prince.
Kudos to them. I've actually been giving lots of kudos to Stanley Eguma here at the studio. He's getting everything together as the tournament
At the right time.
progresses.
At the right time too.
In spite of the challenges he has been going through, from the management or with the management, he has tried his best to get things together, get his players to rise up to every occasion and then fire with
Put
both.
up quite an impressive
Yeah,
run, to
the
say
win
least.
against Aqua United 3-0.
That was...
In fact, 2 matches they scored 7 goals, clean sheet. Up until now, they've not considered a goal in the ATO Cup. Kudos to them, and I will not fail to give a lot of credit to the defense line. Festus Austin, the captain of Rivers United side, he's been a guest here some time ago.
Yeah.
Kudos to him. He has done so well, coordinating his defense, coordinating the team,
And also
motivating everyone.
Talk about the goalkeeper. Save the penalty.
Okay, I was going to come to Ovunda Darlington. I watched him. He's a much younger guy here
You
in Port
saw
Harcourt.
him-
I know
you saw
him.
him
Yeah,
come up the ranks.
he's someone that respects me a lot because I go to their camp a lot of times. You're aware of that. And when they got to the penalty stage, we're at the camp. I was at their camp, Rivers United camp. We're talking, and someone was like, "Oh, Darlington knows how to save penalties. Would they put him?" Stanley Eguma is not somebody that believes so much, in upcoming players. But I was just praying. I said, let him just have this confidence in this guy and put him, because we know Darlington in Port Harcourt here. He saves penalties like we know the case of Vincent Yama back then in Eimba versus Dele Ayeluba. So when they play to the point of penalty, they'll bring out Vincent Yama and Dele Ayeluba will go and deliver the team. That's what happened today.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. They did so well.
This reminds me of what was it, Netherlands or something, a couple of years back.
Yes,
when this
at the World Cup, when Louis van Gaal took
Louis
them to
van
the
Gaal, thank
2014
you.
World Cup.
Yeah.
He did it first time and everyone expected him to do it again, but this time he didn't do it. And people now said, why didn't you do the same thing you did? Because
Really, yeah, it's
the
true,
keeper
it's
he
true.
brought in saved them that particular time. Then he went through the same thing, 360 again. They got back to...
Should have
that
done it
same
because
place.
winning team, they don't change it. The moment he worked for Eimba back then, they kept on doing it.
Sometimes you need as a coach, you understand the psyche of your players. Some players, you tell them, look, the reason I'm doing this is because I need you to be like this. They'll say this. But some other players,
Some other players like Kepa,
they retreat into their shell.
Yeah.
They tend to say, well, he doesn't believe in me. That's why he doesn't do it. They don't look at
That's
it
why
like,
I'm giving
yeah,
great
it's a
kudos
big-
to that
there's a bigger
Darlington.
picture.
Darlington, the goalkeeper, for saving those 2 penalties today.
We saw
he did so well.
We saw the same thing play out in the Carabao Cup finals.
Yeah, that's true.
It was getting to the point where Kepa was supposed to be substituted for Caballero, but the young man wasn't having
I'm
any
not coming out.
So all the same, kudos to Rivers United, and we wish them all the best going forward. It's just one step to the finals now, and we believe Rivers United can go all the way and make us proud. Clinch that final ticket for the Continentals. Talking about the CAF Confederations Cup. We are behind.
And I'm going to Lagos because the finals, we're playing semi-finals against Niger Tornadoes on Wednesday next week. Then the finals is in Lagos next weekend.
Let's take it one day at a time.
I'm going to Lagos for the finals.
All right, all the best, Rivers United. We are cheering you from here on Sports Beat Live on Salvation TV. Now, away from the local scene, we go straight to the Copa America, where it has reached semi-final stages for Brazil because they defeated Paraguay the early hours of this morning, actually, by 4-3 on penalty kicks. The game ended 0-0 in regulation time, and just like Rivers United, Brazil defeated Paraguay 4-3 on penalties. Now, this is a fixture which on paper you would just give Brazil an easy win, probably 3 goals or 4 goals, but it is South American football. We see this all the time. The Minos always try to upset the big teams.
The worst kind of sports, the worst kind of soccer to predict is the South American League, because you don't know who is going to show up particularly. These guys are all skillful and they play the same kind of football. I was in a place where people were talking about, it be like say this na Brazil Yale and all that. That's because of the way they were running through teams and all. You get, all of a sudden they came up against Paraguay. Yeah. And the next day I was with them and all talking. They said, wow, you sure say Brazil go win. You know,
were they even able to beat Qatar well?
No, why I'm saying this is sometimes you stumble your way into the next round. You stumble your way into the next round and you pick up steam. Because for a long time, Brazil has not been, Brazil, as our man would say, has not been as convincing as they're supposed to be. But long and short is this, they got the job done. Let's not forget that fact. It would have been worse for them if they didn't get to the next stage.
I want to actually express my dissatisfaction with Brazil's inconsistency over time now, because in recent times, we take a look at the World Cup that just concluded in Russia. You see Brazil's inconsistency. They are poor. I would say poor. You know why I'm saying poor performance? I expect a lot from them.
I'll tell you. I'll say this. Why a lot of you might not agree with me. It's the same thing that happened with Elder. Who is the main player? Neymar. What mentality did he come with?
He's not playing.
No, not this particular one. The World Cup. We talked about the World. What mentality did he take to the World Cup? He went there to it's like a kid just knowing that I am this good. Like literally, I'm a bigger star than everyone here. I am the most talked about. I am this.
He has that mentality.
So will you build your team around someone like that?
No.
You don't have a choice. It will take a lot for him to bring his head down and do what he's supposed to do. Understand this. France that won the World Cup. Let's put some things in perspective. Would you say Mbappe was their best player?
No.
Well, he scored, I think, he scored how many?
About 4 or 5 goals.
Key goals. Pogba, arguably, was one of the best players, but he was not the best player. Yeah. Griezmann, you could say, was the one they'd give. But this is it. They all came together and knew that we had to achieve this goal, and they did it. You get where I'm coming from? If you can't get that as a team, that cohesion, you're not going to go far. You're not going to go. That is why Argentina, till tomorrow, with Messi, it's going to take a lot for them to achieve what they want. Because when they come there, everyone drops their skills in their bag and says, Messi, let's follow your lead.
I can assure you for mentioning Messi's name now, a caller will address you.
Well, talking about Argentina and Lionel Messi, Argentina is currently 1-0 up against Venezuela. They are leading that game by 1-0. The goal was scored by Inter Milan's Lautaro Martinez. Another game's going on right now. The USA, the defending champions of the FIFA Women's World Cup, are 1-0 up against the hosts of this year's tournament, France. USA 1, France 0. Argentina 1, Venezuela 0. We'll keep you updated as those games progress. Now, away from the Copa America 2019, the FIFA Women's World Cup. We just told you that USA are leading France by a 1-0. But yesterday, the Lionesses of England made easy work of Norway. 3-0. It ended in favor of the Lionesses, and they have made a place in the semi-finals. They await the winner of today's game between USA and France.
I saw this and I shook my head because I had to say, how far back are we in Africa? Norway almost destroyed Nigeria, right? How many?
They beat Nigeria, I think 3-0 in the first game.
3 or 4 or thereabouts. See how they beat them in this particular round. Nigeria, they are the giants of Africa. 9 times.
Are they really the giants?
Yes, they are.
In female football, yeah.
Okay, current form now.
Nobody comes close.
They are.
Current form.
Yes.
Did they just win the Africa?
Yes.
They beat
If they
Cameroon.
had-
Yes.
Yes.
I thought it was Cameroon.
They are the current champions. Here's the thing. These are your current champions. They just qualified. They stumbled into
The knockout stage.
Best losers.
and they were beaten properly away. Do you get where I'm coming from? How far back are we as a continent when it comes to sports development? Let me use my country. How far back are we as a country? Because football is our number one sport. Where are we? This should give us pause. This should give us something to stop and think about. I don't want us to go into
Don't go there.
All right, on Saturday in the FIFA Women's World Cup, Italy will take on Netherlands, and also Germany, who knocked out Nigeria, will take on Sweden in the other quarterfinal games. Now, back to home continent of Africa, where the total African Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 is picking up steam. The phone lines will be opened for you right now so that you can start putting your phone calls through to us, and you can start sending us messages on WhatsApp. We'll be glad to take your messages and to hear your contributions on the program tonight. But please, before you do call us, make sure you turn down the volume of your TV sets, you turn off your TV sets or move away from your TV sets so that we don't get the call back and so that you don't get to repeat yourself because of the delay. Now we'll take you through some results from the African Cup of Nations games played on Wednesday, yesterday, Thursday, and also some of the games that have already been played today. On Wednesday, Uganda played out a 1-1 draw with Zimbabwe. Exciting game, a lot of goal scoring opportunities, but unfortunately nobody could tuck it away for the winner. It ended 1-1 between Uganda and Zimbabwe. Same Wednesday, Egypt defeated DR Congo by 2-0. It meant that the Pharaohs of Egypt booked their place in the knockout stage of the AFCON 2019. Likewise, Nigeria defeated Guinea by 1-0. Nigeria was the first team to make it to the knockout stages of the AFCON 2019. And yesterday, Thursday, Madagascar defeated Burundi by a 1-0. Senegal lost to Algeria in a very, very tightly contested game. Star-studded fixture, I tell ya. Algeria defeated Senegal by 1-0, and Kenya, in another very exciting game, defeated Tanzania by 3-2. Now, Kenya and Tanzania, I thought it was going to probably be easy for Kenya, considering the fact that Tanzania, they are newcomers to the competition, and we saw how they played against Senegal. They couldn't cope. But in that game, Tanzania were actually ahead by 2-1. At some point, Kenya had to claw their way back to win that game 3-2. It's one of the highest scoring fixtures in the competition so far. The other one was Mali's 4-1 win. How was that game for you? It was exciting for me. A lot of chances, a lot of attacking intent from both teams. That is what we want to see on the African continent.
Yeah, just like the game of today, Morocco's Ivory Coast. I love that game. If you see the attacking here and there, and I was surprised when I heard the final score that it was 1-0. If you see more than 12 clean chances missed, both sides were attacking. But for that game against between Kenya and Tanzania. Well, like also we say, Kenya got the job done. Wanyama motivated his team. He proved that he indeed is a Tottenham Hotspur player, and he played, participated in the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Tanzania, on the other hand, I'll give them kudos. They put up a good fight.
Just like the experience. There are times when they were just supposed to close up shop. Look, you get to this stage, you're not just supposed to be okay being here. You're supposed to strive to get to the next level. It's not. Yeah, it's the first time, so everyone will give you kudos. After this,
you know what I think in football, most of these underdog teams, they just come and say, let's participate.
That's the mentality I'm trying to tell you.
Any underdog team that comes and tells himself and gives himself this mentality you're talking about now, gets to win, gets to skate through. And that's why you see it once in a while.
At the end of the day, you won't go far with it. Let's say the truth.
That's why teams like Leicester put up that wonderful performance winning the league,
was trying to pull a Mourinho. They asked him, what do you think about it? Because the only thing Nigeria has been saying is, we are going there to win, we are going there to win. What did he say? He called teams like Egypt, he called Algeria, he called the Morocco or Senegal or thereabout. People now said, he said they shouldn't look to Nigeria. Now, what message are you sending to the players? What message are you sending to the media? What message are you sending to the team? Here's the thing. Here's these people, Tanzania, maybe in their wildest dreams, they didn't believe they were going to
qualify.
They were going to be up, get, against Kenya or thereabout. But that is where, like I said, experience comes in. In Alex Ferguson has one history. I don't know if any has one record. I don't know if any coach has broken it. He has not lost from 2 goals up. The last time it happened was, I think, when in his younger days. So that was when Man U started losing 2-0. From 2-0, they will come and win them. From 2-0, they will equalize and all that. But that's what most of the pundits, schools and the rest were saying. They said, there's something he ingrained in us. There's a time to lock up shop. Whether you like it or not, it gets to the 70-something, 80th minute. Do you know how annoying it is to see a goal coming at that point in time? That means you guys, your heads are not just in the game. You're not just, and that's where experience comes in. Because as a unit, people are supposed to understand. You see this 2-1, let us turn it into a boring game. We don't want to score 4 or 5 goals. Let us hold this one and get to the next level. Yeah. That's what matters.
All right, in the other game yesterday, we were here on Wednesday, and I said Algeria could have something up their sleeves. Senegal, take nothing away from them, they are the best team in Africa on paper because they are the top-ranked team in Africa going into the AFCON 2019. A lot of stars in the team. Sadio Mane just won the UEFA Champions League with Liverpool. It's a really star-studded side, but Algeria, they came with a game plan. I've always loved Algerian football for the most recent years now. They've played wonderful football. No much attention on Riyad Mahrez, who is their star player. They play as a team and they got the job done. It wasn't even Mahrez who was the goal scorer. It wasn't even Mahrez who provided the assist, but somehow they got one over Senegal, and Senegal just had to struggle all through the game.
It doesn't have to be Mahrez. Merit, I said something here at the studio some time ago. Earlier this year. I said, I always talk about the North African teams, both their club sides and their national team. First of all, grow your league. If you grow your league, it will reflect in your national team.
Always.
And now, in the World Cup, JJ Okocha on Super Sports made a statement. He said, African teams lack the discipline to stick to their game plan. I pondered over that statement for almost 2 weeks. What does it mean? He's telling you that, look, you have a game plan, Abi. Okay. No matter the pressure you find yourself in, stick to it.
Because pressure is what changes everything.
Stick to your game plan, because your game plan is what gives you bearing. It's what gives you direction. Now, take a look at Senegal. Ordinarily, on paper, you cannot match them. You cannot match the Moroccan side with them. Okay. Or Algeria, rather. You cannot match the Algerian side with them. Because most of the Algerian players now are home-based. But because their league is solid, check the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, you see their teams, their own club sides, scaling to the finals or the finals. So when they come to the national team, they play as though they are in Europe playing with. That means the standard of their league is tantamount to that of Europe.
I'll say this. Period when I was playing for Union Bank. Let me digress a little. And we were going for Continental. When the Angolans come there, I'll not even talk of the swag they come with, their private jet and all that. Let me not go into all those things. They said how they pick their players. The league is running steady. It's just like the NBA setup, running around. Every week, they have, I think once in a week or once in 2 weeks, they have a national team training. Do you get? I think their games are like weekend games. So they said if you're a star player for that month, they'll invite you to the national team. Do you get where I'm coming from? So imagine a league that's running for 6 months, and you being the star player for 1 or 2 months, you get invited over and over. So that's how they train so they don't wake up and say, competition is coming, let's get into camp. They're already in camp. It's a regular thing. They send your flights, your this and down, they send a jet for you. You go and train with them. Know what it's like to be like a star. Yeah. You train, they pick you Tuesday evening, you train with them Wednesday, Monday, morning and evening. You go back Thursday, go back to your own team. You're relaxed and all that. Please. How would they not perform in Africa?
That's the preparation. Mentally, they are strong. I saw that game. Senegal put up a wonderful performance, but finishing the job. So we say getting the job done is what matters. These North African countries, you see the result now. You see Tunisia, you cannot see them lose. The least they will get is a draw.
So in essence,
they will qualify.
Your take is this: the stronger your league, the better your players are.
That is it. If you look at countries who have been able to grow their leagues,
I feel for a wonderful country, Nigeria.
That is just it. if you want to make a name, if you want to make waves at the national team level, come back, look inwards.
In Africa, where are we ranked in our league?
Our league.
5th, 6th.
So you want me to talk now? Forget that. But to round my statement up, coming down to the African scene now, the West African countries, for instance, where I am from, we lack that discipline to stick to our own game plan.
Funny enough,
why these North African countries
we
they
have
do
most of the star players from West Africa.
It doesn't matter the club you're playing for.
Star players because all their players are out. Those are the ones we see and hear about. You get where I'm coming from? That to put this in perspective for those that don't know, they are star players because they don't play in their league. We'll have the likes of Mikel, we have Odrio Igalo, we have Iwobi. We have some big name players. Why are they outside the country? Their league is not into right home.
Exactly.
We're going somewhere now. I wouldn't like us to go.
No, but it's the truth.
I would like us to go into that. And then earlier today, some of the games played earlier today. Tunisia played out a 1-1 draw against Mali. Mali got the first goal through Davide Semesoku, and Wabi Kazri equalized for Tunisia in the 70th minute. And also, Ivory Coast lost to Morocco. This one was shocking for me. I expected, maybe even if Ivory Coast wasn't going, I expected at least a draw from the game. Both teams getting goals, but Ivory Coast failed to score. I watched the game between Ivory Coast and South Africa. They had a lot of goal-scoring opportunities. And considering the fact that they have someone that is really highly sought after now in the Premier League, talking about Wilfred Zaha in their ranks, they should be doing better than this.
Zaha is not even a starter in Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
He is not a starter.
Who puts him on the bench?
There's one left footer for Lille.
Max Gradel.
Man, that guy right now.
You're talking about Nicolas Pepe.
I think it's Nicolas Pepe.
Paris
Saint-Germain is on his neck.
I now understand why you said we have all the star players.
A lot of star players.
The guy I'm talking about, the Nicolas Pepe, he was a thorn in the flesh of Paris Saint-Germain last season. Because I wasn't following up their league very well. At some point I'll peep. But I found out that Lille,
his name was always... Is he the second highest scorer in...
He's the best player in the French league.
No. Neymar. Okay, he's the second highest scorer after Mbappe.
The MVP of French league, if I'm not mistaken. They named him.
Yeah, because they made a lot of noise about him.
He's the MVP. PSG is on his neck. He's going to PSG.
Just for rumors.
that young man is a beast on the field of play. You understand what I'm saying? I'm only trying to justify the reason why Zaha is on the bench.
Okay.
Yes, because I was asking some questions. But when they brought Zaha in their last match, he didn't perform very well. There are certain players who don't perform very well in the national team, but do well at their league.
If I were a coach, I don't think a player like Zaha, who is one of the #1 strikers for an English side, who are also in the top flight, not like they're struggling and all that. Why I want someone like him to start is this: their league is much stronger than this French league. They're about 2-3 leagues above the French league. I think it's always arguable between the Spanish and English. Then you have behind them the Italian. Then you have the German. Then you have the French. So no matter how you want to do it, the mentalities are different. The competition at these places are higher. You get. But like I said, like we always say, he's the coach.
Zaha actually does come in.
No, he will always. And then we
see the difference between him and this young man.
We'll play almost every. He'll play almost every game.
It's actually sad. I know it's touching you somewhere in your kidney now. But I think they're not. It's about teamwork. It's about teamwork. If you have these stars, that's why I say Stanley Guma is getting it together.
You should be able to get. You know, he's preaching to the choir. What did I say just now? I used Brazil as a case study. Why did I use Brazil as a case study? They've gone away from what we used to know, who we used to know.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Samba.
Bebeto.
Romario.
You know their names you call.
Roberto Carlos.
It's not one person that you play. Everybody does his work. Right now, it's just like, give Neymar. Anything that happens, we'll take it. So a day that Neymar is feeling good, he performs. A day is not feeling good, he retreats into his shell and he affects every other person.
All right, later on tonight in the African Cup of Nations, South Africa will take on Namibia. That game starts by 9 p.m. Nigerian time, and we'll take you through some of the fixtures for the African Cup of Nations. Some of them final group games for Group A, Group B, and Group C for Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday. On Saturday, Mauritania will take on Angola. Cameroon will play against Ghana. Very interesting game for us to see. Benin Republic will take on Guinea-Bissau. And on Sunday at 8 p.m., the Ugandan side will take on Egypt. That's the final group games for Group A now. Uganda versus Egypt, Zimbabwe versus DR Congo, all at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. But earlier on Sunday by 5 p.m., Burundi will take on Guinea. Madagascar will take on Nigeria. Same time, different venues, final Group B game. And also on Monday, in the African Cup of Nations final Group C games, Kenya will take on Senegal, Tanzania will take on Algeria by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and also in Group D, final Group D games, Namibia will take on Ivory Coast, South Africa will take on Morocco by 5 p.m. Now, Madagascar versus Nigeria, definitely that's what we'll concern ourselves with. Madagascar have 4 points from the group, Nigeria already through to the knockout stages, 6 points. The other teams, Burundi has no points, Guinea has 1 point, and we're seeing 24 teams in the African Cup of Nations, which means there will be
best losers.
4 positions for best third place teams. Let's not call them best losers now. Best third place teams. Now, Madagascar, Nigeria, is there anything for the Super Eagles to play? Is it just pride, or probably rest your star players and play a lot of fresh legs?
Rest your star players and play a lot of fresh legs, because we have Henry Onyekuru and some other players.
Who are star players?
The people who are starting the match.
Odion Igalo, Alex.
They are your star players.
Let's just hear a couple of the names.
They are your first team players now. Odion Igalo,
Alex Obi,
Alaina, Wilfred Ndidi,
Daniel Akpeyi.
These are your first team players. They are your star players.
No problem. Well, they could rest the star players, as you say, because when they keep saying, whenever I hear star players, apart from Wilfred Ndidi and a couple, let's say Alex Iwobi and 1 or 2 other players, I think almost everybody is on par in the Nigerian team. You get? Yes, it's a good. Every Cup 22, 23-man squad went there. They have to give everybody a chance to play. But I still want them to win this particular game.
I still do too.
At least, because there's a particular mentality you need going into the next level, going into the next round. Look, let that fear factor be there.
The mentality Rivers United has now.
Yes, let the fear factor be there when other teams are playing you. I've seen teams fall into trouble because of the fear they have of another team.
Sure.
The respect they give to another team.
Yes.
Not because of what the players are doing. It's because of the respect. It happens a lot in sports. You get? So left to only me, I'll say this. Yes, rest your best players, rest your star players, like we'll say.
Yeah.
Rest your star players. But make sure those people going in are prepared to do the job.
No, they are. Take it from me, they are. Because Henry Onyekuru played, he was very consistent in the just concluded UEFA Champions League. He scored a lot of goals for Galatasaray. That's why a lot of people are complaining now. That why are they not playing him? Somebody that was consistent in the UEFA Champions League scored some goals for a consistent team like Galatasaray, and every year in year out team in the UEFA Champions League, and you're not playing him. So I think
it's the same thing. Lack of respect for.
Now, guys, I have to stop you at this point. We've got a message from one of our viewers from WhatsApp, and this one is a really bold statement. It says, based on what I saw. You didn't send your name, but it's coming all the way from Lagos. It says, based on what I saw in the Nigeria versus Guinea game, how well the Super Eagles played, I think the Super Eagles has what it takes to win the African Cup of Nations 2019. You didn't send your name with this one, but it's coming all the way from Lagos.
When England got to the semi-finals, they started singing their
West Coast Wednesday. West Coast Wednesday. They declared the Wednesday West Coast Wednesday because their coach, Southgate is a West Coast man, so they declared it West Coast Wednesday.
Phil Neville also wears a West Coast
Wednesday. They started disturbing the whole social media, and people know what's happening.
If Nigeria wins it, probably turn to a Polo Tuesday for us.
We will definitely have to.
Ghana likes Polo
Tuesday. We have to do.
We have to do it.
Yeah, we'll do that. Ours will be on Wednesday, most likely.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait, so now on a more serious note, the Super Eagles, the African Cup, we won it last time we were in the competition in 2013. The other two editions we didn't qualify for. Now we are back in the competition. We've not dropped a point. We've not conceded a goal. We're building momentum. Yes. Now it's getting to the business end of the competition where you lose one game and then you're out. No retribution for a second game. This Super Eagles team that we have, does it have what it takes to win the African Cup of Nations 2019?
I would say no, and I'll give you my reasons. Individual brilliance here and there, I think we've got individual capacity to be able to skate through to probably semi-finals, but not to clinch the title. You have been seeing this tournament now. You see teams like Morocco and you say we win this AFCON. You have seen the character Egypt is putting up.
We saw teams like Senegal. Senegal was beaten yesterday.
Did I call Senegal here?
You were mentioning Senegal
I
on
said
Wednesday.
Senegal is on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yes.
yeah.
They've got capacity. Even Senegal will beat Super Eagles.
How
If we meet, I will remind you.
Prince.
Super Eagles, we are still doing trial by error in our team. Are you not seeing those games?
I beg to differ. Do you know why?
Okay.
In every category, minus our goalkeeping department. I'm not going to put an axe to his head or anything. He gave, I think, 1 or 2 good saves in that last game. Here's the thing. I think Nigeria has.
But he cannot control the back pass.
I think Nigeria has.
It's not the first. Alisson made mistakes. Liverpool won the
So what's my? Am I from England?
Alisson made mistakes for Liverpool.
Am I from England?
Liverpool won the Champions League.
Am I an Englishman? Am I supposed to talk about England?
Liverpool won.
The one that concerns me is Nigeria.
Liverpool won the Champions League.
The one that concerns me is Nigeria.
No.
That's what we are saying.
Prince, that is what we are saying. Look at it. Whether you like it or not, we've had 2 clean sheets.
Okay.
It's good. We will build from there.
2 clean sheets against.
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter.
It does.
No.
If I remember,
we have 2 clean sheets.
Did you see the first match?
Yes.
They showed class.
Look,
romantic football. When they played against Morocco, how did it happen? How did it pan out?
Look.
When you meet a better challenge.
So Morocco is better than Senegal. Sorry, Algeria is better than Senegal now.
That's here.
Algeria?
Yeah.
I would say they're better.
How?
Because they won.
Because they won yesterday. But before the game, did you give Algeria a chance to win?
Am I CAF?
Oh, okay, you're not CAF. So
I'm not CAF.
So you can't say Nigeria won.
If I fight you and beat you,
stop changing your mouth. Please. Stop changing your mouth.
Since you're not CAF, you can't say Nigeria can't win the AFCON.
Change my mouth from where to where?
So in essence,
okay, say what I said before.
Because Anthony Joshua lost to
CP.
Ruiz now. He's the worst fighter ever. He's the worst fighter now because he lost to Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua is the worst fighter now.
If I beat you, so I'm better than you.
Oh God.
That is it.
On Monday, you and CP were here. You never gave the Super Eagles a chance against Guinea. For a matter of fact,
am I giving them now?
For a matter of fact, CP said the best we could come out from that game with is a single point.
Because of what they were doing.
He said Guinea was going to beat Nigeria. But what happened?
Nigeria beat Guinea.
Easy.
Okay.
You guys should.
And now we are here. You're back here saying the Super Eagles cannot win the UEFA Champions League. Sorry, the African Cup of Nations.
You guys should.
They are not convincing me with their quality of play. Merit? Don't blame me. I watch football. And I understand to an extent what football entails.
That is why
their performance is not up to speed.
Prince,
that's the competition. It's a major tournament.
That is why I'm telling you that. Look, even when France won in '98 or thereabout, France crawled into the next round. They were struggling. I think they lost first game, won second, and drew the third. Well, that was how they qualified. But what happened? They picked up at the right time. So I'll say this, being a Nigerian. My brother, it doesn't matter. It happens to teams.
It happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere. For the first time in a long time, they haven't made us bring out our calculators. I am happy for that. We have not started with, if this one loses, the girls just did it to us. We haven't finished. They just did it to us. Now, the male counterparts have sat down and said, okay, we are going to do it the way it's supposed to be done. And they are doing it. I, being a Nigerian, want to go ahead and say, look, please, let me back these people for once and let's see how
I'm happy you guys are being patriotic.
Thank you.
Not like I dislike my country.
That is where I am.
But I'm placing facts.
You don't dislike your country.
I am placing facts.
And
your
facts still
right
remain
now,
that as long as you're in the competition, you have a chance of winning it.
Yes.
That's the fact.
That's the long and short of it.
But let nobody tell me that Super Eagles have got the capacity to win the AFCON 2019.
I'm telling you.
I am waiting for them to prove me wrong. I'm waiting. I'm here.
I'm telling
you. They already proved you wrong on
Then they keep proving me now. You think as they won, I wasn't happy?
They beat Guinea to prove you wrong.
You think I wasn't happy?
So what are you telling us in essence, Prince?
I know callers are calling to attack me now, but I'm waiting for their calls.
All right, we have our first caller on the program tonight. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports Blip.
Good evening, this is Mr. Solomon calling from Osman International Academy.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Solomon, all the way from Port Harcourt here. Let's hear your contribution.
Yeah. I'm very enjoying the both argument. First of all, let's congratulate the Super Eagles for winning the first two games. Then I don't know what Mr. Computer is not there to do. Because he's one of the people that never played in the Super Eagles. Even when I told that they were not only they were top the group. And I just want to tell Mr. Prince young friends, you know, we are coming up. The boys are giving them something. We cannot sit now and predict whether they will win the cup or not. But the truth of the matter is that we will go far. With what I have seen, there are lots of other teams. So it's a gradual process. We are going there. We will go far.
All right.
But after winning the cup, I doubt it to have the capacity. That's not the truth.
All right, thank you, Mr. Solomon. Thank you for your contributions on the program tonight. Now we have a message coming in from our WhatsApp platform. It's coming in from Perfect Okafo from Bauchi State. He says, I think Nigeria did bad in their match against Guinea because of their quality of play. They are not supposed to be struggling with a team that are below Nigeria in CAF rankings. Now talking about the rankings, he thinks Nigeria should not be struggling with Guinea because Nigeria placed above Guinea in the CAF rankings. And we also have a second caller on the program tonight. Hello, good evening and welcome to Sports Blip Live.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Blip Live. Let's hear your name, where you're calling us, and your contribution in less than 1 minute.
I'm Williams. I'm calling from Maiduguri, Borno State.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Williams. Let's hear your contribution.
My contribution is that, we Nigerians, like our food players now, we don't have the strength as 2000 and that 4 years back.
2013.
2013, very good. So our strikers, see the game that we play with Burundi now, see what our players do. So, like Mikel Ospina is not supposed to go for the first round. But they are still using him. So I don't think we win this African Cup of Nations.
All right.
Have a little faith.
All right, thank you so much, please. Mr. Williams. Now, let's put it into perspective now. But before we go into that, I'll read this message. It's coming in from WhatsApp. From Cameroon, he said, hello guys, what is killing African football is corruption. The same problem Nigeria is facing is the same facing Cameroon and check other African countries. This is from Chris Enau from Cameroon. Corruption. We talk about it all the time. We're fighting corruption now, so hopefully corruption will probably die very soon in the country. Another call on the program tonight. Hello, good evening and welcome to Sports Blip. Hello, good evening. You're live to Sports Blip.
Good evening, thank you.
Good evening. Let's hear your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, my name is Abba from.
All right, go ahead, Mr. God's Gift.
Yes. I think I have to agree with Mr. Prince.
All right. So, in your opinion, Nigeria cannot win the African Cup of Nations?
Well, if you watch their match against Guinea, even the commentators said it clearly that Nigeria happens to be one of the potential winners of the tournament. But they are not living up to the expectations because of their sluggish way of play. I don't think so. Nigeria cannot win the African competition.
All right, thank you so much, all the way from Benue State. Now, someone called and talked about the quality of the team. Would you really say that 2013 team that won the AFCON has more quality than this team?
That is what I'm saying. Stephen Keshi of blessed memory won the AFCON.
We had
let me finish now.
Sunday Mba scored the winning goal.
Sunday Mba came from Rangers from Dolphins. My room was close to his own, you know. We had Kenneth Omeru. He was from Chelsea. He was on loan to Kasimpasa. Then we had the Sunshine centre back. What was that his name again? Obabona.
Yeah, Godfrey Obabona.
The mentality Stephen Keshi infused in these guys is the same mentality North African countries infused in their players, irrespective of the fact that they play back at home at their leagues. You need the character, the mentality to
we're
skate through in
hearing-
tournaments. Not
we're
because you're playing for
hearing
Arsenal.
this, Prince, because
And
they
then
won, no?
see,
Prince, we are hearing this because they won.
so you and I did sports.
Yes,
If a
I
coach
did.
talks to you, your management talks to you, and then you go into the field of play with a particular winning mentality, it's a lot better than when you're playing for Arsenal and Chelsea and you come together and you've not blended and you play the game in a major tournament like
Are
this.
you trying to tell me Coach Gernot Rohr, a Franco-German tactician, does not talk to these people like this?
I was at Asaba. I was on that other conference, press conference with Gernot Rohr. We asked him certain questions that I knew from his speeches that this guy had not blended. And it's a major tournament. You have to gel to put up a good performance.
All right, we have other messages coming in from our WhatsApp platform. This one is coming from Prince, somebody bearing the same name with you, Prince, all the way from Lomé in Togo. He says, hello, our guest, our great sports analysts in the house, in the persons of Merit J, Prince Walu, and Soso Bob Manuel. I'm Prince from Lomé, Togo. Well, Nigeria will try, but I don't think if they will scale through to win the AFCON 2019. This is because Nigerian players find it always difficult to score goals. They are very good in organizing themselves in the field, but they lack goal scoring skills. Another message from WhatsApp says, good evening, guys. Prince Walu has just spoken my mind. However, I commend them for their level of play. Clean sheet so far is nothing but a good record. My support goes to them, that's the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that of the Bafana of South Africa, coming all the way from South Africa from our very own
I'll say this
John
to
Chooks.
John Chooks and Prince Walu. Kudos to you guys. I like the fact that you think you're being real. Defense wins championships, but offense wins games.
Okay.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So just because I know we're short on time, put that in perspective. Offense will win you a lot of games, but defense will win you championships. Case in point, Liverpool of last season is not the same Liverpool of this season. What did they change? That's all I'll say.
All right, this one is coming in from Lagos. It says to me, Nigeria has not. It said, hello, my sports analyst. I need a replay of Nigeria versus Guinea from Temi, all the way from Lagos. We already had that replay, those match highlights on your screen before now. She says to me, Nigeria has not played very well in their last match. Although we won, I don't really think Nigeria has the quality, but there is still hope that Nigeria can still win this AFCON from Temi, all the way from Lagos. And we'll have our final caller for the night. Hello, good evening, and where you're calling us from?
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Graham Tada.
All right, go ahead, Mr. John. You have just 30 seconds. Let's hear your thoughts.
My thought is that we can just play for our fellow players, for Nigerian players, to win this 2019 African competition. We all believe that God also successful. That due to their performance, their trying, that let them keep trying. Let all Nigerians motivate them.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are here in the studio here on Sports Babe doing our own bit of motivation, even if Prince Walu is not really motivating the Super Eagles right now. I and Soso Bob Manuel, we are motivating the Super Eagles, and we're giving them that confidence and that morale boost to go all the way and do their best, probably win the AFCON 2019 and put Prince Walu to shame. That is where we ended on tonight's program here on Sports People. I trust it's been very interesting and very exciting for you. Thank you for your calls and your messages, for putting them through. We love to do this with you once again, same time, same station on Monday. But from now till then, we're saying goodbye, stay safe, and have a lovely weekend.